This is 5 Minute Feng Shui, episode 52. Feng Shui for the relationships that drain you. Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui podcast, where each week I talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and an abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easing for Wealth. Each week, I'll cover Feng Shui topics that can help you improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy-to-implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away, and usually in about 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life. Welcome today to 5 Minute Feng Shui. This is episode 52. That means a full year of weekly podcast episodes. I'm really proud of this particular episode. Not so much for the content, but because, hey, I got here 52 weeks of Feng Shui goodness all delivered to your ears. It's been a lot of fun doing it. I've gotten so much great feedback, and I just want to say a special thank you for being here today. And I also want to acknowledge that this particular episode was inspired by an email that I received from someone who listens to the podcast. Her name is Zoe, and here's what she wrote to me. Hi, Katie. I've really been enjoying your podcast, and I'm curious if you've ever considered an episode on Feng Shui for maintaining better boundaries with people, or something like that. I would be super interested to hear what you have to say about it, because even though there are some topics you've covered that may touch on this, like creating balance and relationships, I think this is a certain type of balance that a lot of people struggle with. Anyway, it's just a thought, and thank you for all the awesome tips you've shared. So thank you, Zoe, for writing in with this particular topic. All right, well, let's dive in, because I think it is a great month to be talking about this. We're in the month of Halloween, trick or treat, and all that good stuff. Vampires, ghouls, and zombies. And unfortunately, we don't have the people in our lives aren't always the best people for us. And, we have to learn to kind of manage our relationships. A lot of times the people we have in our lives, they feed us, they fill us up, they lift us up, and they make us feel great. Those are our best friends and family members who we count on and rely on. But there's always one or two, or maybe more, who are in the background there. And when they come up, you just kind of roll your eyes and sort of dread it, because you feel like when you've been with them, you feel very drained. Maybe it's the friend who calls you up and complains with the same situation all the time, or the friend who just calls up and complains. That kind of situation and that kind of relationship can really kind of pull you down and drag your energy down. And so I thought Zoe's question about what are some ways that you can manage these relationships, a really potent one, especially here at this time of year when we're talking about vampires. What are vampires known for? I call them these people in our lives that are sort of a drain on us. I call them energy vampires, because you just feel this sort of fang into your neck, just sucking the life out of you when they're just droning on and on about all their miseries and never want to change or do anything about it, or always asking you for help, or always needing something and not giving back to you. And that's a real drain on your happiness, because really the major cause of happiness and unhappiness is often from our relationships in our life, or the kind of people that we hang around the most. The relationships that are giving and caring and feed you and fill up your heart give you great energy and positive, good feelings. And the ones that don't drain you, leave you feeling like you've been bled dry, like that vampire I was talking about with their energetic fangs stuck right in your neck, just sucking it all out. It's so important that we know that all interactions with all people are simply exchanges of energy. Some give you energy, others drain your energy. Those relationships are the energy vampires, people who are stuck in their negative energy and only derive joy out of bringing others into their well of pity, self-loathing, complaining, or they're just their personal drama. And I think almost everyone knows someone like that. Obviously, I think Zoe may have known somebody like that, and that's why she wrote to me, which, if you ever feel like writing to me, please do. I love to hear your topics and ideas and suggestions. Now, the people who are into the complaining, the neediness, the drama, I call these kind of people scab pickers. They need to find fault with everything except themselves, if you've ever noticed, right? They don't take responsibility for their lives or the issues that they're complaining about for years. It's always someone else's fault, never theirs. Oh, but they love their issues. They revel in how someone or a situation has created their problem, and they don't want to take that responsibility for any of it. And they want to suck you into their world of blame and shame and criticism. And that's just not a world I want to be in. I try to limit the amount of time I spend in that kind of world, because I'm all about let's bring it all up. Let's be a positive force for good. Let's figure out how things can work instead of how they can't work. Well, let's say the news is covering all the things that we can't do. And I believe that we are fed so much more when we are all about what we can do. So because you're dealing with negative energy, it always helps to know ways to handle negative energy from others who infect you or who draw you in and leave you feeling drained, emotional, moody, or even angry. So let's talk about some of those ways that you can manage that energy. Now, one of the ways that you handle people is to burn through their energy, and that is with the color red. Red is a bright color. It has the strength of the fire element, and it can burn through problems and keep your energy high. Wearing bright colors, whether that's vivid orchid, fuchsia, red, orange, these are all helpful for helping you protect your personal energy from a vampire. So when you're meeting that energetic bloodsucker there, wear strong, bright colors. This is often something I recommend at work because, sometimes people pull out a lot of their personal drama at work. I don't know what that is about a job that gets people going in terms of their energy and getting all kind of stuck in the complaining and that kind of thing. So you want to cut through that. Use that color red. Men, wear a red tie. Wear red shirts. Everybody you get energized by the color red. So I really, really like it. I also like to wear red panties. When I was a little girl, my sister and I would get red panties every year from one of my favorite aunts. We called her Annie Q, and she always gave us red underwear for Christmas, red frilly underwear. It was great, and I loved it, and I still love it to this day. Anyway, so whenever I feel like I need a little extra jolt of energy, that red underwear goes on. All right, so let's also talk about another color, and this is the color you shouldn't wear. So from our basic science class in school, we know that black is a color that absorbs, and we want to make sure that you only wear black in certain situations and places where you know the people you're going to be with. You only want to wear black colors when you're around people you know, like, and trust. If the energy in a room is negative and you're wearing black, you may come away absorbing all that negativity, leaving you feeling drained or energetically attacked. And this is why a lot of times you can go into, let's say, the mall or grocery store, a doctor's office, whatever, and you come out and you went in feeling good and you came out feeling bad. And it's like, why is that? Well, somebody was putting off major energy waves of negativity. And especially if you're wearing black colors, you absorb it. So you really kind of want to go in there with your strength color, and black is not one of the strength colors. Now, if you feel very confident about the people that you're going to be around, wear black. Absolutely, it's a beautiful color. It looks great. It's very slimming and all that good stuff. But it also absorbs negativity. So especially at work. So if you're having some difficulties at work and you're there all day long, definitely avoid wearing black because everything will just like glom onto you. All right, so let's talk about another color that I personally love for personal protection, and that's the color white. It's the color associated with heaven, and it's a power color. It's the ultimate yang color. Its brightness serves as a protector and helps give you more authority. It will weaken that energy draining person, sort of like throwing back the curtains on a vampire when the sun's come up and they just wither, burn up. So this is what we want to do. The white color represents like a giant sword. It just like cuts right through, and it's a power color. I really like how women are wearing power color, the power color of white more. It's not just for brides. So definitely, if you're having a problem getting attention, getting recognition, and getting the blame, then white is your go-to color. So definitely look in your closet and see how you can incorporate more white. Now, that doesn't mean just because Labor Day is over that you can't wear white. There's absolutely no reason why you can't. There's actually a color called winter white, and it's just not that bright white. It has a little tiny bit, I don't want to say ivory, but it's not quite ivory, but it's not white, brilliant white either. So white looks absolutely so sharp and wonderful in the winter. So don't shy back because Labor Day has passed. All right, now let's talk about if you feel like you've been in the presence of somebody and they have just drained you dry, dumped all their problems on you, left a problem at your feet to handle, that something they're not handling, and maybe you feel like, just a very negative presence. Sometimes you can be somewhere and you can feel something like intentional. It's just like when you're sitting somewhere and you feel like someone's is staring at you. How do you know that? You can't see them. They're behind you or something, but yet we instinctively turn. Don't dismiss those feelings that you have. When you feel like there was somebody with bad intentions towards you, or something that is, you felt threatened in some way, psychically, spiritually, honor that feeling. I really think that, we're sensitive to that. We actually know that. So don't dismiss it. Now let's talk about how you manage that. So if you've just gotten off the phone with your cousin who's always just like a major drain, or you have a negative feeling of bad intentions that have been aimed at you, or that your energy has been attacked, I really suggest that you use salt in this situation and take a salt bath. So, a nice Epsom salt bath is always so relaxing for your muscles. And I don't know if you have some knowledge of salt and how it's used, but salt is used as a way to draw energy. We draw moisture from, let's say, cured ham, or from even an infection. Sometimes injury is treated with salt water. Infection is treated with salt water because the salt draws infection and it draws negativity. So take a nice salt bath. And if you have any flowers in your home or garden, sprinkle some of those pretty flower petals in your bath. The salt and flowers help cleanse your energy and remove that film of negativity that sometimes you feel like it's just like clinging to you. Really good suggestion, and a beautiful way to kind of rid yourself of that energy. Let's talk about when someone has been in your home and you just feel like they just brought your whole energy down. Well, we need to kind of clear that out, right? We want to get rid of that. We want to cut through it. We want to pierce that sort of veil of negativity that somebody has left. So when someone is negative in your home, you feel that negativity after they've left, begin at the front door and begin ringing a bell or using a singing bowl. Walk in a clockwise direction from the front area of the front door, going all around your house, ringing the bell and bowl louder where this person was. So if they went into your living room or in the kitchen, ring it really loud. And then come back to your front door and encircle it 3 times, always in a clockwise direction, to seal it from negativity. Now, here's what, I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but here's what metal does. If you've ever rung a bell, you can feel the waves of the sound. Sound penetrates. It cuts and pierces. That metallic sound cuts and pierces energy, and it breaks up any kind of lingering or static veil that's left behind after someone was there. So it's a really good idea to do that. And maybe even if you had an argument, illness, bad news, anything that impacts the energy of your home and life. Bells and singing bowls are a great way to just break it up. All right, let's talk about one other thing, and that is to use incense. Smoke is a great element to bring into your home whenever you feel like there's some staleness, some negativity, someone's been there and they were just and just complaining. You've got all this like lingering complaint energy kind of thing. So just burn some sage or some incense. That smoke from the sage or incense is a great way to clear the air after someone's been in your home. And you always want to pay special attention to the areas where your vampire was, to clear the energy out and remove any lingering negativity. So there you are, Zoe. There are some ways to handle boundaries and handle negative people. As far as Feng Shui for boundaries, I really believe in managing that energy that you put out, which is through color and putting up sort of a color or an energetic barrier between you and the person that kind of drains you. All right, so we're winding up today's episode, as always, with a 5-minute Feng Shui with 3 tips. So let's talk about the 3 tips. Number 1 is wear colors of strength. These colors are white and red, and they will help you feel stronger, and that will help you kind of permit that, or not kind of create an energetic barrier between you and the person who is draining you. Now, the other thing is, tip number 2 is that you want to be clear on your boundaries going in. Now, I didn't really talk about that, but it is really important that you're clear when you talk to that person and they start going down the same old road of, oh, everything's terrible and it's all bad and it's always been bad and it's never going to change. And you can say, Sally, I know you've been dealing with this a long time. I'm sure you're going to get it figured out. I'd love to hear how you want to handle that. Let's talk about ways that you can handle that. And if she doesn't want to talk about ways to handle that, then you say, I really got to run. I've got something going on, or have an appointment I've got to go to. But anyhow, be thinking about those ways that you can get this resolved, because I know it's been weighing on you a long time, and I'd like to see you feel happier about it. Kind of put the ball back in their court. Let them know you're not just there to dump on you, but you're there as a friend to say, hey, this is really your problem, and let me know how you work it out, because I'm here to support you, and I want to see you get past this. The last one, tip number 3, is if you're around negative people, make sure that you don't wear the color black. Black absorbs negativity, and you just don't need it. And it's important that you put up those personal boundaries by even wearing colors that don't let that person permeate you. And when you wear black, you are absorbing whatever is around you, because the color pulls in light, right? And pulls in all other colors and energies. And so make sure you wear those power colors. All right, well, that's 52 episodes, the final episode of the year. And we're going to start next week with year number 2 of 5-Minute Feng Shui. Really excited. Thank you so much for being with me. Thanks for being with me. If you've been here the whole year, Zoe, I hope this helps answer your question. I really want to thank you for being here and supporting 5-Minute Feng Shui. It's been great to have you along, and I'm excited for the next year. I'm going to be having some exciting guests and some cool new topics that I can't wait to talk about. All right, have a great day, and I'll talk to you next week on the next episode of 5-Minute Feng Shui. Thanks for listening today to 5-Minute Feng Shui. Be sure to join me on Facebook at facebook.com/Feng Shui Katie. And if you're really ready to move ahead quickly, head over to redlotusletter.com and sign up for my free 4-week e-course, 28 Days to Prosperity. You'll get daily lessons and tips on how to get unstuck and create financial flow in your life. Make it a fantastic day.